Hello everyone. How y'all doing? And this dude, thank you for the tier 1 for 2 whole years with the emote spam, as it should be. What a beginning. Faith, KJ, Jakista, Alex, Arcanist, it's good to see you all as well. And Space Nerd, good to see you. Suffering from October weather? It is a pouring outside, which means it's a perfect day to come hang out as we stream. And it's sweater weather, so it makes me happy. Anyway. Oh, that's a bit extreme. 35 to 8 is kind of a lot. You know, I take back what I said. For the Americans, that's 90s, mid-90s to 46. Yeah, that's a lot. Ha, it's 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius over there. Whew. That's still pretty toasty. It is currently 13 Celsius here, and that's about perfect. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna complain. Also, you know, the leaves are starting to look actually nice. As soon as we get the weather to, or as soon as the rain goes away, I'm hoping to go out into the countryside, get some good hikes in before the weather gets, you know, bad. You really like my sweater? Thank you. A dear friend of mine made it for me when I was living in Iceland. And so it is handmade from Icelandic wool, and it is just wearing a hug. Could not be nicer. Anyway, where are we at? Gotta love Texas. You have summer, not summer, which is pick 2 months, and it's those ones. And oh my god, if you go outside, you'll die. Yeah, I've got a friend who's in Austin, and was saying the temperature swings this time of year are just bonkers. Right, like 10/50 at night, 36 or 34/90 in the day. It's like, nah, that ain't it. Desert life ain't for me. Anyway, I think we have a game to play, huh? It surprises nobody. We're playing more Assassin's Creed Mirage today. We're getting closer to the end. A little bit. And I didn't get around during the week to run around grab all the rest of the collectibles, so we'll see how many we happen to run into. But the plan, since the main story right now seems to be focusing a lot on Ali ibn Muhammad, I was smart and pulled up the sources that I need ahead of time instead of during the first ad break. So, still after the first ad break, so about an hour into the stream, we're going to be talking about the Zanj Rebellion. Because that seems to be a format that people are working well with. Get some good history in, some good time to look at it. And this is a place where I think the game's doing some really weird stuff. Like, I can't disentangle or figure out quite what the game's doing between, you know, enslavement, class, race, and religion. And so we're gonna spend some time thinking about that here, because it's a very fraught topic for the game, and I'm not sure I even understand how they're approaching it, much less whether I like what they're doing. So that's going to be the plan for the start of the stream, and then with a bit of luck we'll, you know, break into the Round City, pick up the rest of the Codex entries, and have a good time. So, on that note, welcome everyone. My name's Adam, as always. Welcome to Ludo History. I am a historian by training, with graduate degrees in medieval studies and cultural heritage. And so here on the channel, we take a look at historical games of all shapes and sizes. Right now that's Assassin's Creed Mirage, but we've got lots and lots of historical games coming up, set all over the world from, well, not the world, medievalist fantasy, with Dragon Age, through to the 1920s with Thaumaturge. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you hit the follow button, it helps a whole lot. And if you want to support the channel, you can subscribe here on Twitch, or you can head over to patreon.com/ludohistory, where for as little as $2 a month, you can unlock a whole bunch of bonus perks. It's going to be a good time. There's a bunch of stuff coming up here near the end of the year for Patreon folks, so it'll be a good time for all. Without further ado though, why don't we switch out to the controller and hop into the game. Whoop. I think everyone's interested how the Dragon Age streams will go. Luckily, those should start up... Well, it depends on when we finish this. Those are going to start up basically, I think, we finish this, we take a week to return to some indies, Chants of Sennar and Book of Hours Are Calling Me, and then we're going to start Dragon Age. We need to just play a lot more Book of Hours. Actually, both of those games are too much my jam, so we'll need to figure those out. Figure out when I have time to play more of them. Anywho, where were we? Right. So, find and speak, the son of a Zanj widow is missing. So are they gonna... my first question I have for the game is, are we actually gonna, like, talk about who the Zanj are? Just... I'm so deeply curious on that. No.
Cannot lose him like his father.
Maybe he's safe somewhere. He could be lost.
No, he's gone. I haven't even had the chance to gather flowers for my husband's funeral, and now my son is gone too.
This must be the place. Poor woman. I will need to win her.
Okay, so they do at least, you know, make very clear visually. So Zanj is a bit of a fraud term. The geographer, 10th century geographer Al-Masudi, uses it as a geographic term to identify an area just like south of Cape Horn in modern-day Somalia and Kenya. So that sort of coastal region. But as an ethnic identifier for this revolt, the Thawrat al-Zanj, it's a bit... We'll dig into it more, but it's somewhat ambiguous what's being referred to there.
Who are you? What do you want?
Forgive me. I did not mean to startle you. The tea house owner told me.
Oh,
your
bye,
trouble.
friend.
Perhaps I can
Zanzibarish.
I do not see how. I don't know.
Hello, hello, Nolan.
flowers for your husband's burial. I too once lost those close to me, but could not bury them. It would be an honor if you let me do for you what I could not
Aw,
do for my friend.
Basim.
I will gather these flowers.
My husband often brought some white savory to me. If you bring me some, I will leave them at his grave once he is buried, as my final gift.
It will be done. The flowers will be nearby. I should look around.
Okay. Okay, so, visually I actually do like a lot of what they're doing here, right? So, this looks like it's the same base model as some of the other people we see wandering around. But you can see they've got patches, they've got extra dirt stains, they don't have shoes. And so, communicating the idea here that this is definitely much more agricultural. And that, these folks are almost almost universally enslaved.
Nothing can hide from us, Enkidu.
I see. There's a good example, right? They're actually doing labor. That's fun. That's good. Well, I don't know fun, but that's good. Oh. Well. This, however, is not good. The word Zanzibar comes from Arabic Zanj Ibar, which is from Zanzibar. So, Zang. And the coast. So, yeah, the Sea of Zanj. So, yes. So saith the wiki. Jay Pasco, good to see you. Everything's on... Oh. No.
These look like the flowers I need. These are beautiful flowers. My friends would have approved.
No. Okay, well. Oh. There's an enigma. Hello, enigma. Thank you. Gold hidden one. Is this new drip? Do we have new and improved drip? Not caught up on the VODs yet, but nice to see me live. It is good to have you around. The VODs have been loads of fun, but they'll be uploaded soon. Just I ran out of disk space, so I have to, clean up some stuff, and then they'll start getting cut and uploaded onto YouTube. In the meantime, though, also, those look like those were, like... I feel like they were not intended to be black mambas, but they kind of look like it, and so I don't regret killing them. Those are mean. God, look at the turquoise beading in this version of the outfit. Just fantastic. This may have come already apparently sometime in the 10th or 11th century. That's hilarious. Are we doing fashion crimes? No. No, we are not. Somehow. Well, sort of. I guess the hood is fashion crimes. The hood is fashion crimes. The rest of it is not. We are marking ourselves as an entertainer, which is fair. We're kind of a clown. So with the yellow is particularly associated with enslaved musicians and dancers in the 9th century. But that's mostly more for women than for men. But, I think would apply for us too. So we are just the whole clown. Which, given how my stealth gameplay goes, feels appropriate.
I brought the flowers with my sympathy.
They are such elegant flowers. My husband loved them. Thank you. Is there something I can do for you?
I am trying to find out who is taking slaves from Jarjaraya. I know your son is missing.
Yes. I lost his father. It would be more than I can bear if I lost him too.
Can you tell me what he was doing before he went missing?
When his father was taken, he became very unhappy. He started going out at night. Last night, he never returned.
I will look around. There might be something here that tells what happened.
Are there? The real reason, of course, is that drones for surveillance only entered the general consciousness in the late 2010s. Yeah. And hello, what you missed so far? Not much. You missed us get new drip. That's about it. And my controller becoming ever more frustrating. Insert birds work for the bourgeoisie here? True. That's a fact right there. Are there not some Shari laws with regard to the jewelry? Not that I know of, which doesn't mean that they don't exist. Just that there wasn't super strong reference to them. Overall, I would expect, right, the arm rings to be more associated with female dress than male dress. Right. But whether that's actively illegal or just gauche, I don't actually know.
I could pick up her son's tracks around here.
You don't even know how big his gate is. What are you talking about, Basim? You picked up somebody's tracks along a significant road going into town. Or, I guess, going along the edge of town.
There are a lot of tracks here. The tracks lead to that small building. I need to find a way inside.
I know, we'll light it on fire, that'll solve everything. Right? Puzzles.
A letter. He mentions a nearby farm.
I have seen mercenaries go in and out of that farm. They must be the ones who took Father and the others. I am going tonight and will see what I see. I leave this note here in case I am taken as well. I'm sorry to disobey you, Mother, but Beshi is right. We must fight.
Mother know what I have found.
Oh, I was seeing the flame from the lamp and was like, ah, yes. Clearly. That must be. Whoops. Clearly this must be an interactable. But no, it's just a beautiful lamp. I love that lamp. That lamp's amazing. Alright, so we're gonna head over here. Hi, Bunny. And then I'm guessing it's not gonna say, hey, look back. It's gonna be like, damn that Beshi.
I found a letter from your son. He was looking for the men who took his father.
That foolish boy.
He mentioned a nearby farm. Do you know what he was talking about?
Oh no. That is Doan's farm. It is crawling with mercenaries. If he went there... Please, find my son.
If he lives, I will send him back to you. You have my word. I must inform Ali. But first, I should look for the informant.
Okay. Case number 1 closed. I think it's time for case number 2. Somewhere over this way. Should be up on the north side of town here. Okay. God, I love how completely conspicuous I look. One of my favorite things in Assassin's Creed games is that the idea of we are super stealthy secret people, but also the player model has to be like actually interesting. So it ends up being wildly more detailed. And in this case, wildly more dripped out than anyone else. It's my favorite little gameplay shenanigan. Oh. All the way out here? Alright. Hiding in plain sight. Whereas so garish people just say, nope.
This could be the informant. This is the harbor. The informant is here somewhere.
If you are actually an assassin, would you be dressed up unblamably? Therefore, you clearly can't be an assassin, QED. That's, you know, I can't fault that logic.
I should follow him, but I cannot let him see me.
Don't worry.
Now to keep them in my sight and avoid unwanted attention.
I am stealth. No one can see a thing. Don't worry, no one looks up. See? No one ever looks up. Thanks so Sif for watching this game. Ha! Your Byzantine music blended in with the Abbasid menu music. That's very funny. Yes. I wonder if they're suspicious at all. Hello, Dildrum.
I already told you about. Someone's been sniffing around Jarjaraya asking questions.
The one we reported last time. That troublemaker, Bashi.
This one is new. No one seems to know anything about him.
Is that us, or is that supposed to be Ali ibn Muhammad?
And you're wasting my time. Come back when you've got a name.
Is that us, or is that Ali? Because if it's Ali, that's actually very funny. I don't love the idea of just going like quiet step. Well,
These two were gathering information for someone called Duan Ben Arslan.
stealth.
Duan's farm will be heavily guarded. I should return to Ali and discuss the next move.
Stealth. Remember her actual ninja manuals say, yeah, people don't look more than 45 degrees upward, it's fine. That checks out. Anyway, Ali, did you commit violence?
Girl at last.
What have you done?
What I had to do.
Is this what your freedom looks like?
I do not follow your creed, nor do I answer to the hidden ones. This is the price of war.
Beshi would disagree.
Beshi does not lead this rebellion. He does his part and I do mine. But enough. What have you discovered?
The missing slaves were taken at the order of one called Duan.
Actual ninjas, yeah.
Something big is happening soon. I do not know what.
I do. This one said my men are being interrogated and are to be executed by their leader afterward at the villa.
Ali, the informant, mentioned Beshi by name. They are looking for him.
Let them look. Go free my men. I will prepare our attack on the villa. Meet me near the farm when you are...
Uh-huh. That's a lot of blood. This is unfortunately, very, very common. Right, right, well, the game, justly condemns, Ali for this behavior. Ignore the fact that we, also do stabbing. It should be noted that that's not unique to him. Right. Basically everyone of political elites in the period do torture regularly. So Al-Mutaz becomes actually quite guilty of this during the anarchy at Samarra, or when he captures the Turkish military leaders. They get tortured to death. When fascinating. Sir, I'm not sure that technique's gonna work. I mean, it's an impressive party trick. I just don't know that that's gonna do anything. You know? Well, not my boat, not my problem. Anyway, when the Turkish vizier in the reign of, I think it's Al-Mustain, is embezzling boatloads of money. When he gets caught out, what happens? He gets tortured to death.
The farm where Ali's men are being held.
When Al-Mutaz gets captured in 869, what happens? He gets tortured to death. He dies within 3 days of being imprisoned, and that strenuously implies torture and a lot of it. Hello, you come in on torturing to death. Well, I mean, yeah. So it goes sometimes. We did just come into, you know, what if we systematically run around and stab everybody? You've read 16th century German interrogation records. Okay, then, you know, you're familiar. Good lord, what are with the boats today? Look at that man, he's got the shimmies. He's zooming. Look at him go. He got the schmoves.
These stupid slaves are going to be sorry they didn't just do their work. The boss wants to be...
I would love to get all 3 of them. All 4 of them? I think I can get all 4 of them. Oh, well, he just walked away. Well, that makes it easier. That makes that so much easier. Come on, walk this way. Yeah, that's perfect. Go on. Step.
Alhamdulillah! We thought we were dead! Get me out of here!
Ali is waiting just outside the farm. Go.
Huh.
Quickly.
So these people are not Zanj. Like, okay. Duly noted for about 35 minutes from now. The 2 people we just freed are not Zanj. We'll just go up and over here, and then we'll take a look. Oop. Alright, still a decent number of guards around, honestly. And we dance, and we dance, and we dance, dance, dance. Okay. Nailed it.
Your mother is waiting for you.
I'm not going back yet. They killed my father.
Well, you got that drip, though.
I'll fight with the others.
You are brave. Fine. Meet Ali outside the farm.
You kinda got...
That is all of them. I should meet with Ali.
Wow, that guard was great at his job. I mean, it would be a real pain if he... actually aggroed on the person we just spent a... Why are you back here? Where are you going? What is my objective at the moment? My objective was to free these prisoners. And these prisoners having been freed, we're gonna go raise an all-scale assault upon a farm out here. So we're gonna zoom. And we're gonna meet back at this farm. And then we're gonna do...
God is great! God is great!
There is no God but God!
Okay.
Basim, hurry.
Okay. So we have references to the Shahada. Right.
Everyone here.
There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his preference.
We wait only for you.
I am ready. Let us go.
They stole you from your homes when you were free. And brought you here to die in their fields as slaves.
Okay.
They've slaughtered our brothers like dogs in Sharqiyya.
Okay.
Now they have taken more of us.
Mm-hmm.
No more! I promised you a new life.
Uh-huh.
I gave you my word.
Uh-huh.
More join us every day. From the least in Baghdad to the greatest.
Don't worry, I count as like 10.
Our cause is righteous.
Okay.
Our justice is death.
Okay.
God is great. God is great. There is no God but God, and God is great. There is no God but God.
There is no God but God.
There is no judgment but by God.
Okay. Let's go. We're gonna target. 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 And off we go. That should help. And oh! Got him. I guess he was that guy up front that I just rolled. Nailed it. Well, that was easy. What do you mean, hey, what's all this then? What was all this then? That, it's a... This dude, it's a reference, I believe, to how Al-Tabari, what Al-Tabari says is Ali ibn Muhammad's battle cry during the Zanj rebellion. I believe that's just... So, it is specifically referring to that. And so they don't... That was all this then. Ali, turn around. I can't talk to you if you turned around. Everyone knows you can only talk in one direction.
Many will join our cause.
Duan bin Arslan was carrying orders. He was to report to superiors at the officers' club in Sharqiyya.
Those superiors may be who ordered the executions. Does it name them?
No.
It uses code names. Al-Rukh and Al...
The Rock, and I don't know Aishma.
Order uses such names. I will go to this club and see what I can find.
I wish you luck. I must return and wait for Beshi.
Be careful, Ali. The Khalifa will be hunting you both after this.
There are things we cannot hide from if we are to be truly free.
I should go to the officers' club in Sharqiyya.
Alright. Guess we're going there. Aishma, yeah. One of the preeminent Deva. Fair enough. So once again, we get two simultaneous references. One to the Book of 1001 Nights. And then one to, not that. Right, to, Zoroastrian material, folklore and religion. Exactly, the rundown is that they are like a very crude comparison would be to like kind of the main demons of like the Ars Geisha. Also, we're coming back here again, I know. It is related to the word Deva, yes. They're actually, like, super directly related. So, Daiva runs through Indo-Iranian and Avestan, while Deva follows the Indo part of the Indo-Iranian. Proto-Indo-European wrath and senseless violence, who opposes Hrausha, the Yazata of consciousness. Fair enough. Makes good sense to me. But then the other one is just the rock. It's just a big bird that eats elephants. And sheep. But mostly elephants. Alright, so we have to be careful when we're around here. Big bird. Exactly. We're heading here for a reason. It's not a good reason, but it is a reason. Enigma. Come on, where's the cursed? Alright, so when we have the three things pointing towards us, with a dead tree in front. You'd be looking sideways at your subordinates who name themselves after two, whale-eating birds? Yeah, you know, maybe not the best look for, Al-Bahamut, but, gee, I wonder if it's that tree right there that looks, you know, more dead than the rest of them. Gee, I wonder. We do have to be a bit careful, though, because, yeah. So yeah, the leader of the Order of the Ancients, Brave New Tarkle, is Al-Bahamut. Bahamut is not a dragon. Bahamut is a whale. Don't look at them, don't look at them, don't look at them. Don't look at them. It is kind of like Behemoth. Though Behemoth and Leviathan are the two direct pairs. A talisman, but again. Evokes an eldritch creature whose history is evoked by Abdul al-Hasred in his Kitab al-Azif. It's Cthulhu, but again. Your dumbass is mixing up Bahamut with the Latin corruption Baphomet. I didn't actually click that was a Latin corruption. You're right. Like, obviously, yes. That's a Latin corruption, but I fully did not process that. Huh. Huh. What? It's from French troubadours who screw up the name Muhammad during the first crusade. Yeah. Checks out. Like, makes perfect sense.
What do you see?
Gee, is it right in the top? Oh yeah, it's almost...
Now to find a way inside.
But, like, when in doubt, if you're looking for when did Arabic loanwords get completely botched, it's usually the French. Like, just to be out. Well, now to find a way inside. How about the conveniently upturned cart? Oh heck, that's two of them. Don't mind me.
It's not enough they get in their own room, but they make us guard it.
Ugh, someone's got a key. Rude. So rude. Sorry, guy. I need a safe spot for a moment. A whole lot of bullshit happens a couple centuries later when the French monarchy wanted to disband the Knights Templar on accusations of heresy and idolatry. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of accusations of the Templars using Islamic prayers and prayer gestures. Fantastic. That's good stuff right there. Apparently I stood in the fire and they left me on fire. By the way, Faith, thank you for the gift subs to Brave New Turkle and to Beret Girl. Hope y'all oh. Don't mind me. No, this is fine. This is fine. Ow. Don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. Honestly. They could have just not been a jerk and it would have been fine. Now I have to go somewhat higher, you know, not unstealth. Whatever the exact opposite of stealth is. You okay? So that key to your special room, I would love to have it, thank you. And goodbye. Go ahead, demons by the name Elpheus Levy. I should have guessed. I know that name. The 19th century truly is a time, isn't it? Yep. He silenced me so well.
Did you see that woman whose husband we took?
It is not unlawful to make her your slave. Oh, don't look at me like that. Allah has favored us, Jasur. Or should only the mighty Al-Mardikhwar enjoy such blessings?
Do not speak his name, not even here. Of all of us, he scares me the most.
Okay.
You know what he's like. If he learns of my past and finds fault, where can I run? I do not have the luxury of your ships, Nadir.
You may have taken liberties with truth in the past.
Uh-huh.
But
Ooh,
you proved
ooh.
your loyalty many times. You executed those rebels recently. That was a task more cold-blooded than his order.
Liberties with the truth?
Perhaps he should feel you.
So, repeated blasphemies?
The words are those of the Shaitan himself. Do not jest. I want no trouble when he returns.
Shaitan! That is high praise coming from you. It is as I told you. We are favored and need not fear anything.
How about the knife to the head?
Where is Tuang? He is late.
Oh right, we're waiting for someone else.
Always too much. Which is why you are merely Al-Ruh, and I am Aeshme.
My apologies, generals. Doğan bin Arslan has been murdered.
Dang it, we're too slow.
There is an intruder. We must get you to safety.
Was it all the corpses?
Something was wrong. Duong is never late.
Was it all the corpses? I fear the corpses gave me away.
Those two are with the Order, and they serve a third they call Al-Mardekhwar. But now, I need to find a way out.
I could have taken them. I'm just saying, I coulda. So Aishma is a reference to Zoroastrian belief. Is one of the Daiva, or spirits in the service of Ahriman. As Arcanist very helpfully elaborated on, enchant specifically refers to sort of wrath and, I guess we're going to call it unadulterated violence. Though, with the understanding that that is a sort of strange way of saying it. They're naming themselves after a variety of things. So right, we've got the other one, Al-Ruh, is a reference to natural philosophy and, you know, the rock. The giant bird that Sinbad meets. I'm not sufficiently anonymous yet. Tragic. That was not who I was expecting to hit. I'm gonna be real. That was not who I was expecting to hit with my chain. Hello, yes. Surprise. Oh, damn it. Ugh, that was a very gurgly death. I did not enjoy that. Oh, it's directly below me. Alright. Directly below me I can do. Well, directly below me I can maybe do. There's a decent number of people and I only have 2 bars up. That's fine, as long as I get this stab. Should be pretty able to take them. Ow. You miss the Ezio abilities when you have 2 hidden blades? Yeah, well. So it goes sometimes, you know? Sometimes you just gotta do wildly illegal stuff.
I should return to Mirage.
Agreed. Ooh, there's one of the things we've been missing. Let's see what we get. Hello, friend. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna steal your stuff. Goodbye, friend. A glass weight. All right, let's see what things we get. A tool used to measure the value of gold and silver coins made in the Byzantine and Arab empires. Cool. I don't know why he'd be super interested in that when he is, you know, a merchant. He presumably has a set already. But, you know, maybe it's an unusual size. Or maybe it's faulty. Right? If it's faulty... then you can use it to do money laundering. Fraud's good. Don't take that out of context. Alright, Fulat. How we doing?
Good. You have kicked many nests. Mercenaries are everywhere.
They hire fast, don't they? Wow.
He's avoiding the mercenaries. I hope the trouble was all worth it.
I have discovered 2 of the officers are working with the Order. And there is another, their leader.
Really? That would explain the Order's reach in
We also killed a 4th.
The first 2 go by the names Al-Rukh and Al-Aishma. The third, they call Al-Mardikhwar.
They hide behind pompous names like prideful children.
Do not mistake the Order's vanities for childishness. They are the real power behind the
Huh.
acids. Did you discover anything that would identify them?
He also has the distinction being the Shaitim, or Jin King, that Solomon subdues to build the temple in Jewish and Islamic folklore. We love that. In some versions, he's actually King David's son by Lilith's sister. Look, Apocrypha are wild.
The one named Al-Rukh was called Jasur by his companion. He is hiding from his past, and lives in fear because of it.
Jasur, yes. That must be the Arab general Jasur ibn Basil.
I know
Ibn Basil?
a coward who stole credit for victories on the battlefield.
I take it he's of Greek descent then.
A past he has gone to great efforts to hide. Jasur
That was he-
has a villa at Qasr Saleh to the west. You could look for him there.
The one called Al-Aishma, his real name is Nadir. He has command of ships and is not timid like his companion. Arrogant, in fact.
Nader.
That must be Admiral Nadir ibn Havid, a boastful fool concerned more with his ships than his own men.
Ah, yes, the Admiral. Boastful perhaps, but brilliant. He has created several new warships for the Khalifa. The Order's reach has grown if they have recruited Nader. You should look for him in the lower harbor to the north.
And then Mardikhwar.
Leader, Al-Mardikhwar. I learned only that he is away from Sharqiya and expected to return soon.
This one I do not know. It is the first time I have heard the name.
If he is their leader, he ordered the death of my men. He's the one you must find.
Okay.
Yes, and for other reasons besides. Our best hope of finding him is through the first 2.
Find this Al-Mardikhwar, Basim. As we agreed, I will wait for Beshi. I am grateful for your help freeing my men. Take this token, with thanks.
Hooray.
I will find Jasur and Nadir and unmask their leader.
They will be wary now. Protected within...
2 black boxes?
You may have to lure them out. Tread carefully, Basim. These are dangerous men.
2.
Who am I?
New case, the Warlord. And then another new case. Presumably. The Trader. exciting. Anyway, that looks like that is a great place for us to take our first break. Let me actually pause this so we get different music. So yeah, we do this about every hour just to give everyone a chance to stand up and stretch, and hopefully mitigate the ads. So if you've been enjoying this, don't go anywhere, we shall return very shortly, and when we do, we're going to take a break from the game, for just a smidge, to contextualize the history we are seeing. So, I shall leave you, as always, with our snails. Ta-da. Yeah, don't go anywhere. We shall return very soon. Alright, welcome back everyone. Hope you enjoyed that very brief ad break. If you are just tuning in, welcome. As always, I am Adam. And we are playing more Assassin's Creed Mirage. As you can probably hear from the obviously Assassin's Creed Mirage music. If this is your first time tuning in, of course, please do say hello. Well, we appreciate everyone lurking. It is also super fun when people are hanging out, chatting, posting emotes. So, say hello. And yeah, we're gonna not dive into the game immediately, but instead we're gonna do something we've taken to doing pretty recently, and spend the next little bit of time taking a look at contextualizing some of the history we just saw. Specifically today, we're gonna take a look at the Zanj Rebellion, because they want Ali ibn Muhammad to be a really important character, and so I think it makes sense, before we go stab a bunch of people, to contextualize him and the rebellion he incites in more depth than we have done so far. So if you like that, of course, make sure you hit the follow button to be notified for all of the rest of the Assassin's Creed streams and all future streams with some absolutely banger historical games coming up. Total War Pharaoh, Last Train Home, The Thaumaturge, Dragon Age Origins, more Book of Hours. It's a stacked end of the year. So, if you like that, you know, hit the follow button and consider supporting the channel to make sure we can play all those games by subscribing. Or, if you prefer, Sonic I think is going to end up being a little bit later down the line. Just because, you know, we can do one Patreon game at a time with how stacked the end of this year is. And so Dragon Age comes first, and then we'll get to Sonic and the Black Knight. But you can also head over to patreon.com/LudoHistory, where, you know, you can make me play Sonic and the Black Knight for a mere $25 a month. Yeah. Patreon, we love our top-level Patreon supporters, and as I said, right, basically, you know, $25 a month, enough to subsidize the game. You can pick your favorite historical game for me to play as soon as possible. That, to my continued slight regret, includes Sonic games that are based in Arthurian material. So yeah, on that note, why don't we hop into some history before I have to process what sentence I just said, by taking a look at the Zanj Rebellion. So, everyone welcome back to the game. It's gonna sit in quiet for a little bit. And we're gonna take a look at some stuff. There's also the Sonic 1001 Nights game. Yes, but Patreon supporter, well, Raptorus, splitting the Patreon Tier 3 Patreon support, requested the Sonic and the Black Knight, not Sonic and the Secret Rings. And so we're committed to that. Unless if someone else wants to make me play that one, which you are allowed to do. I won't stop you. Anyway. Some history. So, overall, just a heads up on sort of the scholarship here. I am somewhat limited by my inability to read Arabic scholarship. But if you took a look 10 years ago or so at the Zanj Rebellion, there you would not have found a whole lot of material. Like, like a dozen or so major articles over the previous 150 years. Just not a lot of material into this super interesting thing. There was a bit of a bump in the 70s, and then it kind of fell off again. Since then, there's been a ton of work done. Way too much to summarize, but just to show you a bit how much there is, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 articles pulled up, which I think is the most for any of these. Which also, you know, emphasizes just how many different perspectives there actually are. I think it makes sense to start with just an encyclopedia entry by Adam Ali, written in 2019 but published online in 2022, so kind of representing what is our consensus right now. Before we get into, you know, the nitty-gritties of scholarship and argument, what's our consensus? So, in 869, not 864, like the game is suggesting, slaves, mostly of African origin, revolted in southern Iraq against their masters, living mainly in the city of Basra, and against the Abbasid Caliphate. These slaves, referred to as Zanj in the sources, rebelled due to the harsh conditions under which they lived. They worked on large plantations where they were primarily employed in reclaiming land by removing the nitrous, salty topsoil to make it arable. They toiled under terrible working conditions, received little sustenance, and suffered cruel and harsh treatment at the hands of their overseers. The rebellion was incited and led by Ali ibn Muhammad, a mysterious, charismatic leader who was neither a slave nor a native of the marshy regions where he launched the movement that would cause the central authorities so much trouble for a period of 15 years. Ali ibn Muhammad and his band of followers attacked the plantations where the slaves worked and freed thousands of them. He promised the slaves that he would lead them to victory, wealth, and power. He also promised that he would treat them with respect and dignity and that he would never betray them. Ali ibn Muhammad and his followers established a polity in southern Iraq in the region of Ahwaz. They had constructed their capital, al-Mukhtara, deep in the marshes. The rebels utilized the marshes to conduct a guerrilla war against their enemies, defeating several armies sent by the local authorities in Basra, and drove back Caliphal forces sent to subdue them from Samarra and Baghdad. The Zanj were only crushed when the Caliphate focused a significant amount of military resources on subduing the revolt, eventually pushing the rebels back to their capital. Even after the capital was besieged, though, it took the Caliphal armies 2 full years to capture al-Mukhtara. The rebellion took a heavy toll on the Caliphate. The damage done to the economy, agriculture, and trade was devastating. Thousands lost their lives, irrigation systems were destroyed, and countless villages were abandoned. Even major cities such as Basra and Wazit were taken and sacked by the rebels, leaving much of the region devastated and depopulated. So, kind of in some ways a nail in the coffin for the high point of Abbasid authority. So the Zanj rebellion ends in 884, and around 912, 917, so right, they fail to recover to the point that the Buyids are able to move in, capture Baghdad, and establish themselves as technically the emirate, but de facto having the same authority. So much for that. Obviously, a couple of significant changes from what the game is doing. So, firstly, you know, it's not close to Baghdad. Like, Baghdad is never particularly in danger from the Zanj rebellion. The problem is that it's diverting a lot of resources, meant that the Abbasids would have loved to allocate elsewhere, around Baghdad, around Samarra, and farther afield to Basra and to southern Iraq in order to deal with the Zanj. Secondly, I want to emphasize that mostly of African origin. Right, in the game, right, we don't get explicit references to the Zanj referred to as people of African origin, both in the Codex and in how they physically represent people identified as Zanj, right? The widow that we saw, they explicitly say she's Zanj, and then off we go. But most of the people we see in Ali ibn Muhammad's army in the game are not Zanj. They are enslaved, but enslaved and probably Arab. So it bears asking, like, what's up with that? Right. For the what's up with that, I think it's mostly coming from this article right here. This is one of the most major articles in sort of the revitalization of discourse around the Zanj Rebellion. The other being a translation published in late 1975, I believe, on slave revolts more broadly in the Abbasid Caliphate. But Ghada Tarhami makes a very class-oriented argument here. We're not going to go through the whole thing because it is long. It is very long. This, by the way, Nigel Furlong's Revisiting the Zanj and Revisioning Revolt, is another really important one. Anyway, Talhami makes a very class-oriented approach. So, note, firstly, and I think the part of the article that holds up the best, is that Zanj does not refer to a particularly precise group of people. This is something later scholars kind of expanded on, more definitively proved, but the crux of it is that according to al-Malsudi's geography, right, the Zanj is the coast of Zanzibar. But if you actually look at how other authors, including al-Tabari, our main primary source for the Zanj revolt, or the Thawrat al-Zanj, it's not used systematically in a way that suggests that sort of geographic precision. In fact, it's used semi-synonymously with Sudan. So, Sudanese, right? Sub-Saharan African. And, in fact, may even go so far as referring to people from along the coast of Mozambique and Madagascar, though reports from al-Malsudi really sort of emphasize the extent to which northern Madagascan people did not like the Zanj, and in fact thought themselves to be, in many ways, intellectually and culturally superior to them. Anyway, Talhami then, I think, strays a little bit off course in a very 1970s, Marxist academic move. And emphasizes the role of enslaved populations from outside of Africa, free Bedouin people who traveled with Ali ibn Muhammad from Qom, and other groups that were actually involved, suggesting that the Zanj did not particularly have agency in the revolt named after them, and that this is instead taken by a much broader base of disenfranchised and semi-disenfranchised peoples who had all kind of relocated from around the Caliphate into southern Iraq. In particular, I think Talhami emphasizes Kharijite populations in Arabia. One of the Kharijite, the Bedouin people of sort of modern Yemen, southern Saudi Arabia, and kind of across the Red Sea in southern Egypt and modern Djibouti. Really sort of emphasizing that cluster as a Kharijite ideological stronghold, though not one inhabited by lots of people, and using sort of that Kharijite lens as a way of explaining the sort of military mobilization of the late 860s. This gets critiqued. right? It's still an ongoing discussion. This is one of our youngest ones, also from 2019, right? Still says against ignoring race, right? That still is an ongoing discussion, the extent to which race and racialization plays a role in addition to class and religious ideology. Anyway, if you want a good overview on where we were a decade ago, I highly, highly recommend this article. Right, Modern Takes on Motivations Behind the Zanj Rebellion by Emily Martha Silkaitis. I highly recommend this because this is a literary review. Right, if you're not in academia, right, this basically does not particularly present arguments of its own. It is entirely focused on what are the major articles thus far that have been written on the subject, what are the holes on them, where is there room for further discussion. That's great for someone like me, right, who really doesn't have, this is not fully in my wheelhouse. It's the right time period, but the wrong place. And so we need a lot more, right? So Alexander Popovich's The Revolt of African Slaves in Iraq in the 3rd/9th century, from French into English, published in 1976, while Telhami's article came out in late 1977. So, emphasizes, late 1970s as a great boop of discussion. Okay. In terms of race as a motivating factor for the rebellion, the core of Telhami's argument stems from the writing of Al-Tabari. Al-Tabari's account of the event is cited by all 5 authors in varying degrees. He's our only detailed one. There's Al-Yaqubi, also talks about the Zanj rebellion, but for the most part, Al-Tabari is our source. So the Tarikh Al-Tabari are the history of the kings and prophets, written by Al-Tabari, is our main source here. Anyway, she points out that Al-Tabari alternatively describes the distant groups as Zanj and Sodan, while using Zanj to refer to all slaves who did not speak Arabic. Telhami also claims that little evidence exists that directly links a thriving slave trafficking economy to the commercial activity of the opposite empire prior to the 10th century. So she's like, well, it can't be East African Zanj. Because, right, there are some, but there's not a significant slave trade prior to the, early 900s. The Buyids wildly expand the Indian Ocean slave trade in East Africa, and so she's like, well, then that's got to be a class-based approach because there isn't this sort of racial blind approach. Anyway, though, Popovich also does not comment on race as a relevant cause. So, there we go. Let's see. Role of religion. Oh, good. I want to talk about this one. So we'll actually look at this. Yeah, this one right here. Oseni addresses the importance of religion from 2 standpoints: the Kharijite doctrine and the piety of Abbasid rulers. He views the Kharijite beliefs as being imperative for understanding the activities of the Zanj. They were attracted to the doctrine because of its egalitarian tendencies. If you think way back to the beginning, remember, the Kharijites are a now more or less defunct sect of Islam that stems from the First Civil War in the 7th century. They are people who are become so disillusioned with the idea that that Ali ibn Abi Talib, the main Rashidun Caliph at the time, would negotiate with the upstart governor of Syria, that they leave his camp, they rage quit the whole thing, and increasingly become radicalized in a way that emphasizes that, no, this whole idea of lineage from the Prophet Muhammad is nonsense, and that leadership among the community of Muslims should be defined by virtue. Right? They're so disillusioned by the politics of it all that they're like, no, virtue is the thing that matters, and even a formerly enslaved person could become a caliph if they are sufficiently pious. It's honestly more informative than any history class you've had so far. Well, that is simultaneously discouraging, but also very flattering to me. Thank you very much. Anyway, they were likewise drawn to the charismatic leader of Ali, who preached his principles. Ali ibn Muhammad spoke to the Zanj for the first time on their right to a lawful, happy existence. Sani draws a noteworthy connection between periodic Kharijite uprisings as the Abbasids and the insurrection of the Zanj, suggesting that the slave revolt was actually a manifestation of Kharijite uprisings. The religious milieu gave the slaves a certain zeal and hope as they fought, but in the long run these beliefs did not carry enough weight to bring them to victory. I don't know if I agree with that sentence, because there's more than belief that matters. But you know, that's fine. Anyway, Ossetin's claims about the relevance of Kharijite beliefs appears to be exaggerated in comparison with the opinions of other scholars, but it poses valid questions to the reader and attracts attention. Unfortunately, we don't have any sources by the Zanj on their own government in the 12 years of their capital existing, so we're kind of out of luck there. Anyway, Ossetin also sheds light on a separate religious aspect of the revolt: the practices of the Abbasid rulers. He cites examples of the Prophet Muhammad's just treatment of slaves and highlights how only 2 centuries later these practices seem to have faded out under the Abbasids. While the Zanj rebellion failed for numerous reasons, it did raise fundamental questions about the nature of the Caliphate, including the treatment of disadvantaged members of society and how rulers should help them. So I actually really like that. I think religion, is helpful, and Noldeke, very the first major European study on the Zanj rebellion, thinks of many of the same things. Though Noldeke seems to mostly concentrate on Kharijite practices as affecting Ali ibn Muhammad more than the Zanj themselves. Yeah. Cool. I think that's... Oh yeah, and meanwhile Popovich thinks of Ali ibn Muhammad as compelling orator, but also as a dishonest, zealous man. I think you can see that influence in the game really clearly, right? He has no problems doing torture. He has no problems talking about this super radical freedom at any cost, and the use of religious language mostly to spur others to action than as something that he has particular introspection on, right? Chad, do you agree with that from what we've seen of Ali right now? Of that, the assassins really don't like him. They work with him because it's convenient, but they don't like him. And part of that is that they view him as a zealot, and as someone who says a lot but doesn't... It's unclear where his actual beliefs lie beyond freedom and the use of religion to rile up other people. So, I would say, honestly, Popovich is probably one of the main sources, if I had to guess, as to who they're using to, inform the narrative design and sort of interpersonal conflicts that they want in the game to stir up drama. Hooray. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Adam, please become a history teacher. You get kids to pay way more attention than most teachers. I do have a lot of teachers in my family. I want to go into university level stuff, right? As I know, I work, or at this point I actually used to work. I was on a contract job, but I worked at a rare books library, and that's where I'm trying to go back into, which would involve teaching, but teaching using primary sources rather than teaching using a game. Or using PDFs off of JSTOR. Anyway. I also, just as another good overview, right, a really good sneaky tip. If you know nothing about a time period, and you are looking to get a good overview, student papers are a fabulous place to start. They're not going to be the most, complex arguments, they may not even have a particularly unusually good grasp of the sources, but especially I prefer graduate and doctoral theses as good starting places, because they have to have one of these lovely, lovely things called a historiography section. Hello, Reggie B. It is good to see you. You're just tuned in while we are talking about the Zanj Rebellion and getting ourselves a bit more of a contextualization into what's going on with the game. We do be learning. Right now, here's a meta hot tip. Student papers, especially graduate and doctoral theses, have one of these lovely historiography sections, which means they're going to summarize what a lot of other people have already said on the topic. And that is really important, especially if you can find one from really recently, because that means someone is caught up on the scholarship, so you don't have to be. But yes, this one is actually a BA thesis, but it's a very good BA. So, theoretically, yes, Wolfie. In practice, no. Either it is buried, or they just dive straight into the argument and assume that you are gonna... Well, you may get a sentence of introduction as to what other people have said. For the most part, you're already like, here's our hole, we're diving straight in. And if you don't know where to start, that can be really intimidating. Right, because if you don't know who Noldek is, or Alexander Popovich is, or Rana Talami. So, right, scholarly articles. Actually, you know, this is a great chance. Let's compare that to the start of here. Right? The entire historiographical section at the start of Rana Talhani's essay is 2 paragraphs. Well, 2.5 paragraphs. Right? Few historians have ventured into the deep, dim recesses of medieval history on Africa's eastern coast. Those who did face the laborious task of assembling a coherent picture. Like, that's summarizing a trend, not talking about anyone specific. And then we get immediately, right, Reginald Coupland in East Africa and its invaders, and then page 2. By the time we hit page 2, we are already in it. Right, we get 1 paragraph about Coupland, 1 about H. Neville Chiddick, and then Zanj Rebellion, and we're off. Alright, and the Kivit, welcome, and what is your opinion about clustering a lot of sources so they have a structural hiatus into groups, and then letting your question flow out of the observations you made? Do that. 100% do that. Don't get completely sold on your question, but that is how I tend to approach my own research. Ooh, hello, voice crack. Let me actually tab back over here for this one. Basically the way I tend to do research here is I start by trying to find one of these big, recent doctoral theses. And then, right, we're just going to be reading a lot. The point is just to get myself a working background. And out of that, right, I mean, I know it kind of sucks to try and make one, but make an annotated bibliography, right? Just a quick summary. What are people talking about? Who's written on what topics? And you can either do this by either going like a topic, a summary of consensus, and then what articles are talking about it, or you can do this by article, summary, article, summary. In either case, the whole point is being descriptive, right? We're just describing what's going on. Then you can organize that into who's responding to who, where's our structure, right? Are there major through lines in different periods of scholarship? Are there changes in different periods of scholarship? And once you've done that sort of initial evaluation, you can start finding holes. And then you ask questions about those holes, and that's where you dig deeper. So, like, that is my go-to way whenever I am doing research. So yeah, we, like, do a ton of reading, and then let your question flow out of it. Either you've noticed something weird that no one's talked about, you've noticed something in another field that's really intriguing that no one's talked about, or there's a spot of, like, really strong disagreement, and you're like, let's take a look at the sources and see what my opinion is. All 3 of those are good. Right? What is your... So, I hope that answered that. To give actually an example from my master's dissertation, right, this was a case of, I know something in another field, and that led me to a question, because I noticed that we got, in 2013, dating for a volcanic eruption in the 1250s. And I was reading through Sturlunga Saga for a class. I do medieval Icelandic stuff. A contemporary history of the 13th century. And they mention this is the worst winter anyone has ever seen. And I was like, is part... I just read a bunch of stuff on volcanoes here, and on environmental history. And are these two sentences related? Right, is there's an eruption in 1257 plus or minus 1 year. In Indonesia, that's like the biggest eruption in the Middle Ages. And in 1258, Iceland has a horrible winter. Turns out, nobody had looked at that because who would? They're as far apart as you can physically get. But that observation led to a really cool thing that I'm currently turning into an article. So, you know, it's fun. Anyway. Welcome. Also, Wolfie, just on that question, how often does the game suggestion renew? Since the game you chose isn't even out yet, if you want to choose a different one, we can honor both of them. Just a heads up. Right, you chose something that won't be out till like late 2024 at the earliest. So just message me and we can talk about that. Anyway, let's hop back into the Zanj Rebellion. I think I wanna look at this one as kind of our last place, because this is a really good overview on sort of contemporary thing, and presenting a really good argument towards thinking about the Zanj Rebellion is as an actual, largely racially motivated revolt. Obviously, I should be clear, there are a lot of factors: opposite politics, and instability, religion, race, class, maltreatment, etc. So there's a lot of things. There are a few distinct criteria that can be established in order to confirm that it was a Zanj rebellion led by black slaves. Firstly, we must trace the etymological lineage of the word Zanj. Second, we must establish that the rulers of Abbasid Iraq did indeed utilize black slave labor, and we must establish that Ali ibn Muhammad specifically organized the black Zanj as a repeating motor to lead the revolt against the Caliphate. So, you know, direct response to Talhami's work on that etymology and the early slave trade. It is... In 1986, towards the definition of the term Zanj, Marina Tolmasheva makes a compelling and cohesive argument undermining the thesis that Zanj is associated only with a specific portion of the East African coast. Mainly, she borrows from Talhami, who argues that there is an overemphasis on Arab commercial interactions with East Africa in the early Abbasid period, and the assumption that Abbasid writers use Zanj to mean specifically the East African coast, and therefore the people that they called Zanj, organized in a specific part of that region, is completely unjustified. And then has a breakdown on the class economy of Basra and the economic things, including some environmental history on the swamp reeds that make navigation painful. And malaria is an omnipresent threat. Tragic. So yeah, this is, again, a very, very long article. What should be clear is, right, people have a lot of opinions on this. Just as by the way. Look at how long this goes. Like, we are currently right there. After scrolling for quite a bit. Anyway. Let's look at Ali ibn Muhammad to kind of wrap us up. if you remember correctly from your lectures, the rebellion had huge consequences for the political systems of the Caliphate, in the sense that local lords got more autonomy, since caliphs were unable to directly pay local lords because of economic collapse, hence privatization of more land. I think it is correct, but I would link it to, rather than the Zanj revolt specifically, I would just say like the entire back half of the 800s leads that direction. So we looked at this yesterday, or on Wednesday, I should say, in the previous stream. But there's broad economic collapse, starting with the civil war between Al-Amin and Al-Ma'mun. The, in turn, increasing economic expense of a larger military, and a military largely funded by enslaved Turkish soldiers and mercenaries. So military expenses balloon rapidly. The caliphs waste a crap ton of money on the palatial complex at Samarra, and the Tulanid Caliphate, the Fatimid Caliphate, the Umayyad Emirate, and then the loss of Egypt and revolts brewing in Khorasan further splinter off the economic periphery that had been funneling tax money in the first place. On top of all of that, ecological crisis and canal collapse in the Sawat, the Mesopotamia proper, causes mass depopulation all in both northern and southern Iraq, and just a complete collapse of finances. The Zanj Rebellion does not help this, because back-to-back 10 years of Khalifa crisis, right, a 10-year-long succession crisis, followed by a 15-year-long slave revolt, turns out is really bad for your economy. So I view it as symptomatic in terms of the larger Abbasid crisis of the 3rd century Al-Hijra, or the late 9th century AD, rather than it being a super-duper strong motivating factor. Right, so symptom rather than direct cause. But it is hard to overstate the extent to which, if northern Iraq just got slammed by the anarchy at Samarra, and then southern Iraq gets slammed by the Zanj revolt, the Sawat overall just gets completely devastated, and there's mass depopulation. So, it's just bad news bears. Anyway, I do want to at least get through this paragraph and a half, because I think this is super helpful. So, Muhammad ibn al-Hassan ibn Saad's Kitab Akhbar Sahib al-Zanj, the biography of the leader of the Zanj, which Tabari relies on for biographical information, has been destroyed. But Ali ibn Muhammad was probably born in Persia, outside of Tehran, of Arab descent. Maternal grandfather had been a Kharijite involved against the 10th Umayyad Caliph Abdul Malik, and had fled to Al-Ray as an exile. So he spent some time in Samarra, and in 863, so when right in the period of this game, he leaves Samarra for Bahrain. So the game has already twisted several things. So, it says, hey, the Caliph is definitely in Baghdad in this period, right? 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 Wrong. The Caliph is in Samarra, where, being in Samarra in 862 is a bad time, because Al-Mutawakkil gets assassinated in Samarra. His immediate successor dies of mysterious causes, and probably instigator of his assassination, dies of mysterious causes 6 months later. And then there's, the Turkish military leaders are basically calling the shots. So I don't blame him for bailing, and he goes to Bahrain. In Al-Hajar, he attempts to galvanize the following, which he partially succeeds in doing. And then he leaves Al-Hajar and ends up in Al-Asa. And this is where a lot of the Bedouins come in. From there, he moves to he flees and heads to Basra, and then he flees from Basra to Baghdad. So this is going to be sometime around 867, 868. And after a year, he goes back into Basra. Just fully on a pretext. I love that. Pretending to be a wealthy merchant. Really good Assassin's Creed disguise right there. Right? Bazim ibn Ishaq, also a wealthy merchant. We're good buds. And from there in 869, he proclaims the revolt and sets up in the marshes outside of Basra. So, basically, the conclusion here is that what the game is doing? Complete fiction. This is purely a squishing of time and space. Okay, mostly time, I guess. In order to say, hey, there is a specific moment where Ali ibn Muhammad is in Baghdad, and we want to have this discourse between Kharijite theology, though refusing to recognize it as such, and the creed of the Order of the Hidden Ones. And so it does some compression in order to make that happen. Do I like that? I don't know. But it is a thing. And it's a thing where clearly, right, they're taking this class-based and quietly religious-based approach espoused by Nodika and Popovich, and I guess a little bit Talhami, in order to collectively go like, okay, so here's what we want to do, here's this ideological conflict that hopefully is going to spur growth in Basim. So I think that's helpful. Right? Like, as you can see, there's a lot written and a lot of scholarly disagreement as to the motivations. Partially this is due to a thin source record, partially due to it being a genuinely super complicated thing that you get a lot of value out of reading in a lot of different ways. And that's very exciting, right? I think that's genuinely, like, a really cool thing to be working on, and should be clear, right, any way you slice it, there is pretty clear mistreatment going on in the Abbasid Caliphate, and this is a place where the game's criticisms of the Caliphate and kind of, like, really anti-Abbasid approach holds a lot of water. And while we don't approve of Ali ibn Muhammad's methods, like, torture is bad, okay? That's not controversial. What is clear is that they are really trying to think about sort of subaltern histories and the different layers of motivation, which is really cool, and there's a level of nuance in regarding the Zanj Rebellion that there's clearly a lot more to do, but it's frankly more than previous games did, and we like to see that. So, history, 40 minute long history lecture aside, why don't we hop back into the game now and, you know, do the obviously better thing of politically motivated assassinations. You know, it's only bad if someone else does it. If the hidden ones do it, well, that's just gameplay. We do so love the 40 to 60 minute lectures. I'm so lucky that I get an audience of, like, what, 30 people at this point? But I get it just, or hanging out and having a good time and listening to me talk for 40 minutes in JSTOR. Truly blessed content. Whee! Okay, so we do love that Google Doc content. I know you do. Well, there's a key right there, so let's mark that guy. Mark, thank you. And then there's a bunch of material up that way. So we have to get that key first. Anyway, we slice it. I've left the game. Oh, I've left the game too low. I have left the game too low. Liz, and I appreciate that. My sweater is very cozy. It is a little bit too warm for right this second, but it is very cozy, and I am glad that you appreciate it as much as I do. Just the one, eh? We're gonna steal my sweater? Wait, no.
This is a detailed diagram of a strange-looking ship.
I have two, right? This is gonna go badly. Just a heads up. Wait, that worked? Hilarious. Hilarious. All the channels that play video games, you are the best. Some just play games and say stupid stuff for the sake of it. You guys should have good stuff to share. I try. I try to also be, you know, not just hello, I am history lecture. What? There's no way you saw me. That's nonsense. Hard to disagree. Let's keep going this way. Yes. What if I... go back this way? Hello, yep, you saw nothing. See ya.
Problem of some kind. Who would dare cause us anyway?
Yep, come on. Come on. There we go. Love to see more real history? Ha! You can say that again. But luckily you are in the right spot. Cause that is what... really all we do here is history content. That didn't work? That didn't... there's no way that didn't work. Anyway, don't get suspicious when I stab you.
Go in peace.
Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, really goodbye. Nailed it. Well, we just poisoned, you know, the river very slightly. I'm sure nothing bad will happen from that. And if it does, that's not our problem. Hello, yes. Please get confused. Yoink. Come on, come up here. It'll be really funny if you do. You, seem to be a bit stuck. Okay. My ankles.
Hey, what's your problem?
Let's try that again. Go in peace, down the river. You know, somewhere other than here.
Seeing them work. I'm glad I never learned to read.
What if I use this? You know. Stealth. I mean, yes, that just puts me here again. But the amount of stealth, that's the smart part. Examine. Oh, those are swords.
This shipment is headed outside the city.
There's another thing over there. You genuinely think you just took a nap, huh? You don't... Chad, he doesn't know. Chad, he still doesn't know. That's a person. No. Back this way. Thank you. That's just a whole person.
Directing all shipments to a location just south, along the river Tijla. This shipment is headed outside the city.
Okay, well, let's go. For heading outside the city, well, there's no better way than this. I'm sure this will go just fine. I will not have any weird... Can we divert that shipment to you? You'd love some more swords? Only if I don't get to it first. Also, I think this is the first time we've traveled via Tigris. You know, I'm kind of a big fan. I do love these good marsh navigation boats. While this is not particularly fast, it is quite comfortable. Obligatory Assassin's Creed tiny boats. You know what happened to your sword? Oh no. We only have a prop dagger that doesn't have an edge. Well, that's tough. I don't think I have any swords right now either. I used to have one. And then my dad was used to fence, so have some like fencing blades. Just like a cheapo prop sword. Like mine was just a cheapo prop sword. Like that's not. nothing of particular note. Mostly just a sword-flavored one. Am I weird when you play Assassin's Creed and just think, wow, this historically probably has a Walmart standing here now? I mean, in this particular case, probably a little bit, because it's, you know, probably not a Walmart. It's probably a different chain store. But the idea is good, even if, you know.
This camp is the worst I've ever seen in all my years. Go, Enkidu.
Oh, well.
They are vigilant. Best not go now, Enkidu.
The Admiral is all talk.
Nothing stopping you from just kind of running at them right now.
So much and do so little. Not even you.
Flawless. I was like, is there anything stopping you from just like running at that guy? And the answer was no. No, there was not. Alright, that should help.
Show me everything.
An opportunity there. And potentially another opportunity there. And that's it. Okay, those are our options. Yeah, I hear you on that front, though. You know, with a sword or a lot of other material. Actually.
The Admiral cares more for this precious model ship than his own men. And look at...
Yeah, sorry, I don't...
I hope there is some...
Flawless. Hopefully that did not, you know, just ruin the chance of me doing anything to this, but... I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Where's the other thing over there? Can I assassinate him over the fence? I cannot. Tragic.
Now you rest.
There we go. Oh. No, you won't. Hello? Please stop. Nailed it. We're so good at this.
Admiral Nadir is very concerned about keeping fire away from his prototype ship.
Neat. There's the other half. Yep. The solution is that we commit violence to boats, and that is sufficient, apparently, to make good stuff happen. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is gonna be hilarious. Look at how much fire... Look at how much fire this guy just put on his boat. Like... Come on. Can I... Yay! Why do they keep that much fire on a wooden ship is, I think, my question. Couldn't be me. Nope. No way it's me. See? I'm so far gone. Look at those fish. These fish won't snitch on me. Alright, we go back in the same way we came out.
I better get back.
I'm sure it was a jitney. Huge bags of gold.
Well, glad you don't particularly care. Oh, that was not what I intended to use. No. Flawless. Yeah, another shipment of military supplies has gone missing. Uh-huh. Well, time to be naughty here. Loki turning into a salmon to escape punishment, the sequel. True.
A letter from Al-Mardikhwar about missing shipments belonging to the Turkic mercenaries. The Admiral was stealing. One down. Now to deal with...
Well, that's a classic. That was an absolute classic. Turns out, you know, the bad person has been stealing. Who could have guessed? Embezzling military supplies meant for other people. I mean, that's a classic of the genre right there. A very authentic thing to get got for. I mean, we did it a little bit extrajudicially. But, you know. You win some, you lose some. Well, where's our other one? That's a weapons dealer. That's not who I need. That's another contract. That's not who I need. Literally, where's the other one? The embezzling embezzler who was invited by the embezzling secret society was embezzling from the secret society? Truly a mystery. Right? No one could have possibly predicted a single iota of that. Nope. Not even a little bit. No one could have possibly. Fully mysterious. Yep. We can get caught up on other stuff, or we can now restock on our supplies by just heading down here, then restocking on supplies. Heal. Oh, it hasn't responded yet. Oh, that's fine. Kind of has the energy of the Jade Emperor being shot at the arrows guy he commissioned to shoot arrows at people. Shot arrows at people. Yeah. I mean, look, no one said the ruler of heaven, most powerful of the gods, etc., was smart. That's what we call a min-maxed character right there. Anywho, let's find a nice vantage point for the next place. And then we're going to take another break. You know, that can make an interesting game, investigating finances to find what nobles are investigating funds. Play Pentiment. That's not the whole game, but it is a point in the game. So once again, you know, play Pentiment. Anyway, this looks like sufficiently innocuous, right? Right, guards? None of you know what's going on. You couldn't possibly be thinking, oh, this man is sitting on top of a pole suspiciously is gonna cause trouble. So we're gonna take another very brief ad break. Right, we do these every hour-ish in order to give everyone a chance to stand up and stretch. So do not go anywhere. We will return very, very soon and continue with more of this. Well, people are just inherently trustworthy. Exactly. Hail hydrates. Alright. Double hail hydrates. See, we've got chai today, so we're gonna have chai. That was fine. 2 sips. Okay, so, yeah, we had real good history. Now we're gonna take a stretch break, self-care. So don't go anywhere, and we shall return very soon. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that brief ad break. If you are just tuning in, welcome. As always, I am Adam, and we are playing more Assassin's Creed Mirage. We had a lovely discussion in the last segment about the Zanj Rebellion, and about, you know, lots of scholarship written and a lot of scholarly disagreement. On a note from that time, though, you know, while I am not a classroom teacher, I am open to doing class visits, so, you know, if anyone watching this is a history teacher and once talks about either the Middle Ages or how to do research or the reception of history in games, I am open to that. My email is in the bio section on the stream page. So if that's something you're interested in, get in touch. But enough of, you know, promoting other things. We got more people to stab. So if you are enjoying this, of course, unlike history content, make sure you follow, because we do a huge array of history games from all time periods all around the world. And if you want to support the channel, firstly, say hi in chat, right? Like, talking, hanging out. Well, we appreciate everyone, including our lurkers and VOD watchers. Come join live, it's more fun. But you can also support us by subscribing, or by heading over to patreon.com/LudoHistory, where for just $2 a month, you can get extra perks, up to and including at higher tiers, making me play your favorite historical game. Also, as you watch, you accumulate channel points, which you can do for fun stuff, so make sure you check out those rewards. In the meantime, let's go stab some folks. God, the music is so good. I want a classic.
Everyone's on edge.
Sounds like trouble. Let's go home.
Yeah, going home is a good idea.
It's on high alert. I am expected.
Yeah, going home just seems like a very good idea. Yes. No one too shady. Wolfie, thank you for the tier 1 gift sub. To the Kivit. Super appreciate it. Enjoy all your historical marginalia emotes. Well. Now, how did you see me? How did you see me?
What the?
Nailed it. No witnesses, no problems.
I need your help, my friend.
Gee, who could have predicted that?
I am sorry for putting you in danger.
What, marksman? Who could have predicted that extremely obvious occurrence? Ah, yeah, don't worry about me. Okay. Just. There's been an incident. I am the incident. Okay, so there's an opportunity there. There's 3 guards there, which is some more of an issue. That... I cannot believe that worked. Everyone stack up.
If you ask me, that key is trouble.
No, no, no.
Can't let my guard down.
We'll target. 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 Target.
Hold on! You will regret this, eh? I am feared in battle.
I heard you are a coward who steals credit for other men's bravery.
Not getting through. Guard! Double wages for the one who brings me his head. Triple!
There is the coward now.
You are nothing! Guard! Pathetic.
Hello? Please attack? Okay. Controller?
Guard! A year's pay to the one who saves me!
Who is Al-Mardikhwan?
Quickly!
Where is he?
Guards!
Glad the guards just weren't listening. You know?
There is a note. Al-Mardikhwan had questions about our friend's past. Smart. He was ordered to a meeting at the Great Garrison. That is two down. I should return to Fulad.
Alright, good work, team. Nothing suspicious happened here. Nothing of note. At all. Certainly nothing a little cash payment.
And tell him Al-Rukh and Al-Aishma are dead.
Right, nothing a little cash payment won't resolve.
I for one will not judge.
This is him! The one with man!
I for one will not judge, I appreciate you.
You can't hold on, you! I say it's the guy. I see.
Yeah, don't worry about me. Okay. Yeah. Well, everyone's literally fine. Don't worry about it. Honestly. People are way too freaked out by all my stabbing. Don't even worry about it. Today we're just gonna go for a swim. Casual like, as you do. The fish support me in all my endeavors. And off we go. Cool. Oh, we're already... People are already mad at us. Let's steal some stuff on the way.
Fetch the patrol! This is the criminal they see! Hurry!
Yeah. Let's at least get them off our backs. Don't worry about it.
The guards will be ever vigilant.
See? Don't worry about it.
Care to sample our melodic delights?
Honestly, why is there never a herald when you need them? Now I have to make myself anonymous the old-fashioned way. By finding suspicious posters.
The things that pass for art these days.
Which we are very sassy about. It's frankly very funny how sassy we are about it, actually.
Somebody find a watchman!
Like it then. Got a nice bit of land.
Best I stay hidden.
See? Don't worry about
He
it.
got ambushed by bandits right
Everyone's fine. Everyone is fine. Basim is just salty, those posters are great. True. What? What's everyone's fuss? I was just crossing a wall. Goofballs. Completely unsuspicious.
Wait, Ali. Let us hear from Basim first. Were you successful in your tasks?
I sure was.
General Jasur and Admiral Nadir are dead.
Did you find anything to identify Al-Mardekhwar?
Not exactly. General Jasur was commanded to meet Al-Mardekhwar at the Great Garrison. It seems his past finally caught up with him. Admiral Nadir was questioned about missing supply shipments meant for the Turkic military. Al-Mardekhwar was not happy.
So, Al-Mardekhwar is at the Great Garrison overseeing supplies for the Turkic mercenaries.
Uh-huh.
There is only one officer of sufficient rank who fits. Warlord
There he is.
Wasif at
There he is. I was wondering when he'd fucking show up.
This makes sense. There are few others who could have taken Beshi.
Beshi has been taken?
He never came back.
Wasif just returned from an excursion for the Khalifa and is at the garrison.
For the Khalifa.
If he has Beshi, that is where he will be.
Then that is where I am going.
Wasif controls half of Baghdad. If we challenge him,
Well, he controls Samara,
could start a war
which is
that
not the same
reaches
city.
even Alamut. You need Basim.
Fine. I will meet Basim near the garrison before I move, but do not take long. I am finished waiting.
So, I was expecting Wasif would be
Enter the great garrison and
one
kill
of the,
Wasif.
like,
He must
higher
not
ups
escape, and
ones.
it must look like Ali did it. The safety of Alamut depends on it.
It will be done.
But, historical figure alert. Alright, Faith. Have safe driving. We'll see you next time. Anyway. So, yeah. Historical figure alert. Wasif al-Turki is one of the two leaders of the Turkish regiments at Samara in 861. As such, he's also one of the prime suspects for the assassination of Khalif al-Mutawakkil in 861. He continues to be very, very important in the anarchy at Samara, basically one of the leading figures who's choosing and deposing caliphs at his whims. He does, however, eventually get captured, brought to Baghdad, and executed. That's sometime around probably 865, 866 that he gets killed. His son, I believe Saleh ibn Wasif, takes over. Continues to be just as much of a kingmaker as his father was. So, yay? God, it's so odd that they're running the anarchy at Samara in a way that really prioritizes that. Is he going to be happy or sad that Basim killed the Khalif? It seems to be that he doesn't care. I'm gonna be real. I think he just doesn't care. Feels an awful lot like he's like, yeah, you know. Dying's not that big of a problem, or should say, the Caliph seems to be purely a figurehead. So, he seems unbothered anyway. Because, honestly, if it weren't for the fact that we stabbed Al-Mutawakkil, would anything we have read thus far suggested that anyone was, or seen so far, suggested that anyone noticed or cared that Al-Mutawakil died?
Ali, are you ready?
And who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do?
There is more at stake here than your pride, Wasif. We walk a narrow path.
Is this supposed to be Muhammad?
Enough! Take care
Yep.
what you say when we next meet, Governor. I will not suffer.
So, the fact that
such
he's wearing
insult
black
twice.
actually is not a fashion crime.
That's Wasif and Baghdad's governor, Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Tahir. The man has spirit. I hope to make him an ally.
Well, I hope you are right. Wasif is enough to deal with.
Governor's looking
I
good.
just have to find a way inside the garrison.
Governor's looking real good.
One of the stewards inside is loyal to me. You will find him near the cookhouse.
The fact that this is also our first...
He will help you.
Uh-oh. Rip stream. Stream, how, you doing okay? We live? Cool. It did look like it hiccuped. Yep. I saw it hiccup and kind of... My bitrate bar suddenly went red, and then you went to 0 viewers, and I was like, oh no! Panic. Okay, as long as we're back, we're back.
What will you do?
Don't worry about it.
I will find Beshi and then free other rebels being held in the prison. Wasif, I leave to you.
Cool. As long as we're alive, we're good.
Warlord, you cloak yourself in the Khalifa's colors so you can kidnap and kill at will. You are a plague upon the land. Its soil is red with the blood of those you have butchered, all because they sought their freedom, or because you feared they would. You think yourself untouchable, surrounded by your soldiers. But we will storm the garrison, free Beshi, and see your reign of terror end.
We assassinate Al-Mardikhar. That's a good question. Well, there was a question earlier of what is a Mardikhar? Well, sadly, turns out this game has completely ruined the Google search algorithm. Yep. Has fully, completely, and utterly ruined the, Oh! This is Manticore again. Okay. That checks out. Old Persian rendering of the word that became Manticore. So we did actually see that earlier. And, in, like, when we're talking about the House of Wisdom.
Do not look climbable. I will have to find
But
another
yes,
way in.
the not a dragon horn. Yeah. Right. Right. When we were looking at the paint shop, that's when we saw it. And is there something less conspicuous? I have great news for you. Ah, that's not what I want. Outfit die. They should be less suspicious. Less conspicuous. Whoa, go Google search algorithm. Yup. It's rough.
Just don't.
Where's this cook? We just heard a cook.
Go away.
I'm not going away. Or rather, I am going away, but, like, not really. There you are.
Just don't.
Don't worry about me. Hi.
Those garrison walls are useless as they are.
Useless? Why are they useless? Please tell me more.
Have you seen the holes in the garrison walls? What's the point of having walls if they have holes in them?
You mean the construction? There are guards everywhere. No one is getting in or out of that place without being caught.
There might be a way in along the northern wall. I should take a look.
I see. But someone at the...
I need your eyes, my friend.
So they're both actually this way. Round the exterior. No. Stop telling me to go away.
Hey! Go away!
No. Make me. We'll see if this is at all usable. I doubt it. Well, that's fine. Another hiccup? We seem to be on the recovery now. Chat, we seem to have recovered. I'll have to stitch the two VODs together because we've now refreshed the session. But you look like you're back alive for me. Well, yep, that worked. That worked great. There were so many climbing opportunities.
Go somewhere else.
Okay, I'm going somewhere else. See? I'm gone somewhere else. Well, there's at least step one. Okay, well that step one didn't really help me. The idea was good, though. The idea had been really good. It just, you know, turned out to be entirely irrelevant. Sorry. Alright, we've now taken his place. And we should be fine. Should be fine.
This could be a way inside.
Nice.
There is a steward here loyal to Ali. He will be somewhere near the cookhouse.
Nice, and that puts us right at the cookhouse.
I bet he's left the key in that mess of a room.
Where there is a key, there is a lock.
Over here.
Or a gate.
Hello, yes.
You are Ali's man?
I saw your red sash. We must be quick. Wasif is in the inner garrison.
Yep, my red sash.
Side entrance, but we cannot be seen together. Follow me at a distance and stay out of sight.
Why? I'm a completely inconspicuous guard. I'm a completely...
Right. Let us go.
I
will walk in the open to avoid suspicion. Follow me at a distance and stay in cover. Try to stay in the shadows.
Yeah.
You heard those screams? It's like ghosts or something. I heard the prison is haunted.
Something's happening down there that isn't right. I heard the same thing at the master's gate. Hey! We don't want to know.
There you are.
Shame.
Hope they fix the walls soon.
You and me both. My patrols will be shorter for one thing.
I see you.
No, you don't.
Hiding from me.
Yeah, you know, let's use a knife on that.
Warlock was keep is back. So no shirking on your patrols. To the full round, all the way to the construction. If I catch any of you shortcutting, you'll lose a week's pay.
We'll be back.
For a month.
I'll be waiting. Stay close to the walls where there's plenty of cover. Go now.
What do you mean go now? There's literally someone staring at me.
Do not follow me in the open. Stay in cover.
Yes. Is that at all dangerous or suspicious? There's no way this works, right?
Everything seems quiet enough, my friend.
I'm not your friend. Be about your business. Be quick.
Well,
You're halfway. Remember, stay hidden. If you fail, I will not be able to help, and you must find your own way.
Don't tell me the key dropped off the chain again. The captain will have my head if I've lost it. Where is that damn key? This is the barracks. Wasif's room is probably further inside.
how exactly do you want me to get down here? It's just down these stairs and then around? And then over.
Hey, did Camille pay you back yet?
Oh.
A key. This should get me into the inner garrison.
Gotcha. God's sake. Oh heck. That was awkward. Don't worry about it.
Wasif's room. It is surprisingly bare for a man of his rank. This is an elaborate shrine. Wasif must have loved his mother.
Okay. Well, that's terrifying. Okay. Well, that worked. I don't know how that worked, but that worked.
Straight and eyes front! The warlord is arriving and will tolerate no disorder.
Well, F's in the chat.
Better. The heft is good. The balance, too. The hilt is still a bit tight. Let us see if the edge is better. Whoever bears arms against us is not one of us. You chose the wrong side, my friend.
Judgment belongs to Allah, not you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still sticking. Make the blood grooves deeper.
That's not what those are for. Hang on, nope, that's...
Time to put the dog down!
That's not what that's for. Actually, let me... I've only got one, but that's fine. Yay! That should help. Never mind, it didn't help. It's not just that that's not what they're called. That's like that's not what they're for.
We should free the others. Then you can lead your men outside. I will deal with Wasif.
Outside? Don't be foolish.
Uh-oh.
This is the perfect beginning. We are going to pull this place down.
Well,
The warden has the key to our cells. Be careful. He's more dangerous than he looks.
he looks pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I swear to God, you're gonna get way more people killed than is necessary. Yeah. I'm afraid that that is the point.
There is the warden.
Right, that has been sort of the, I guess not the goal, but definitely a critique the game has. Oh, come on. Are you done looking?
What the? I'll be waiting.
So as long as I stand still,
I better get back.
as long as I stand still, it's perfectly fine. Oh sure, now he's way the hell over there. Why do I even bother? Come back this way. Mr. Warden. Come on. Turn around. I just need you to not see me as I make this jump. Thank you. Thank you. Now, where have you gone to now? Oh no, there's been an unfortunate accident. Oh.
Hey, what?
Get the feeling we are. Come out to play. We'll leave the boat.
No.
There you are. God grant me strength.
Let me unbar the door. No? Fine. Then we go over the top. Ow.
I will drive you to a halt.
Nice fighting. How can you not see me? Don't worry about that.
Now to release the others.
Obviously.
Ali will lead us to our revenge. For Beshi.
Uh-huh. Cool.
Your men are free. Now I must find Wasif.
There's a signal fire just above here. Once lit, it will raise an alarm throughout the garrison. The guards will come to us.
And I will find a way into his room while he is alone. All right. I will light the fire.
Do not forget our agreement.
Sir?
I have not forgotten.
Sir? Sir? Okay, now with this group of soldier or rebels, it definitely suggests, kind of leads into the idea that the Zanj is an East African right, that the Zanj are East African enslaved people, which is something, right? In the last segment, we talked about how the game doesn't seem to be leaning into that quite as much. Now, with this particular group, they absolutely did. Yay. Really? So if I yeet a torch in there, it doesn't work. But if I drop a torch in there, it works. Come on. Well, good luck, squad. I'ma be real. You're gonna need it. They do really want that cool cutscene, yeah. Well, all 6 people involved in that melee are gonna be real upset. Yay. I helped. Really? No. Well, they look like it's both of them.
Hold on.
Shame. Yay. I am anonymous to interact. No. Was if. Huh. Maybe we should grab one or four some more swords.
We are surrounded! Be silent! Take this down quickly. The Sindiq Ali and his rebels have attacked the garrison. Request reinforcements. Seal the letter. When the door is breached, find a way through and deliver it to the Khalifa. On your life!
Yes, Saidi.
Uh-huh. Come on, walk a little bit closer. I don't have any smoke. Oh, I do have 2 smoke bombs. Oh, you poor guy.
Composed and silent, even when trapped. Al-Mardikhwar indeed.
You are so little and weak.
You are clumsy and slow.
I will kill you slowly in the end with my hand.
You will have to move faster than that.
Your friend yelped like a dog when I skewered.
What
No, I didn't.
will you sound like? A pig, I think.
Ow.
How are you doing this?
I am not bound in jail, you coward.
Ow. These are the enemies that are the most dangerous, I think. Right, big sword is about as dangerous as it gets. Well, rest in peace, major historical figure. I'd say you'd be missed, but you won't be. I suppose I could have used Assassin's Focus to just troll him, but that would have been not as funny.
A feather. Isn't that ironic? Was it taken from an eagle who fell out of the sky?
A symbol of freedom. A word you did not use often. And never will again.
Oh. So this is freedom. Yet, I do not see any way out.
So I mean, on the one hand, it's quite good. I think that they made a major historical figure in Order of the Ancient, especially someone who is pulling the strings, not very behind the scenes, just kind of in the open, in Baghdad in this period. On the other hand, I feel like a kind of underwhelming use of him. I think it's underwhelming because of how much or how little focus there is on the political history. Because you can't really talk about the political history without thinking about what is his role in this political history, and it is stabbing caliphs. More than once. Also, he has nothing to do with the Zanj rebellion, on account of dying 5 years before it starts.
We will have to fight our way out. Our revolution begins now! With me!
This may not be good.
Wait,
Well, that missed. Well, halfway missed. Did I just chain kill all 5 of them?
Follow me! Stay close!
Is this what you mean by freedom? Crawling our way out of a garrison?
Why? Do you lack the stomach for an honest fight?
No.
Just prefer an honest assassination. Well, I've got great news. There's nothing honest
honest assassin. I hope you trained your men better than the warlord trained his.
Can you not see for yourself? The fight is almost over already.
Oh, we made it. That was close.
Not close. Inevitable. More guards!
Oh, that guy has a... hang on. Ow. I would love to try and snipe this guy. He's going to explode, I wouldn't be there.
Perhaps our cause appeals to you more than you admit.
Nice hit!
What universe is that the last of them?
Oh no, my friend. We are leaving through the front gate.
Hi, yes. The last of them, you said. Honestly. I stabbed a lot of people there, and that felt very fun. And we only got 1 bar of illegality for it. Honestly.
The troublemaker is here!
Yes, I am a troublemaker. Don't worry about it. Have you noticed that Ali is a bigger troublemaker? I still have my guy, so it doesn't count, obviously. How did I not foresee this?
This is a good day. I will meet you at the bureau.
No, wait, there's a... Can you take the other poster for me while you're there?
Our fight begins! We will have freedom or death! God is great!
There is no God but God!
God is great!
There is no God but God!
God is great!
There is no God but God!
I like the civilians just kind of hanging out.
I should return to Funar at the bureau.
I like how many people were just fully hanging out during that. Right? Just saying it, just talking, being like, huh, they're weird, I guess. I don't know. It's very funny to me. Just another Tuesday, exactly. Right, it's Tuesday, you go to the Tuesday market, and then you're just... Liz, there's a very important reason why they have to translate it. And it's not just, you know, you've got to it would feel culturally weird. But there is a very important reason. That's because in an Anglo-American context, the Shahada is associated a little bit too much with ISIS.
If you mention the cat, he will come. And here he is.
Go softly, come softly, so the cat does not gore you.
Ha.
You have honored your word. Wasif lies dead, and all who hear of it, hear of me.
I regret we could not save Beshi. He was a brave man.
Already they tell his story throughout Baghdad. He will free more by his death than he did in life. Freedom has a price. The only question is whether we will pay it. Beshi was proud to. I have much to do. I would wish peace upon you both, but we know that is not in your future.
Yeah.
Nor mine.
I fear Ali is right. Nothing will stop his rebellion now.
Maybe nothing should. The things he says. At the garrison, we saw Wasif arguing with Governor Muhammad ibn Tahir.
Muhammad? That is odd. I will keep eyes on him.
Okay.
Arakallah Khan.
Good. I'm glad someone's paying attention to Muhammad ibn Tahir. Because, you know, the Tahirids are kind of important and are otherwise allies. Right? We're already established early on to be allies of Alamut.
Easy, Basim, I am here.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
Basim, Tamahal.
I cannot keep them waiting.
Are they aware, your companions, that their hunter is hunted in his sleep?
Yes, actually.
If it were in my sleep alone, I could bear it. But it followed when I fled Anbar. Now it stalks me.
Roshan is explicitly aware of it.
The ones from the palace. In the masks.
4 are dead at my hand. The last, the head of the snake, will join them soon.
Why slit its throat when you could loosen its tongue?
What? Why would I?
The Jinni only struck in sleep. It never dogged you by the day until you reached into that chest. The masked ones prize what lay within. The ancient object that woke at your touch. They may hold more answers living than dead.
ZX, you may try refreshing if it's decent for you.
I do not break bread with them.
Because it looks not for me.
How can you hunt when you are hounded? If you could walk the dark unburdened, you could better serve the light.
I stay my blade from the flesh of the innocent, not from the order of the ancients.
Now, the animation did kind of...
Foes,
the lip sync is broken, but that's fine.
In that chest, and why they sought it.
Nihal is also the Jinn of our dreams? Yeah.
My
yeah, it is.
companions wait for me at the Harbiya Bureau.
Why are we in Anbar again?
Clear your mind, Basim. Focus on the task before you.
Wait, why are we... Why are we here again? Peculiar. Nahal is getting better at exploiting Basim's ideals? Yep. Is that a problem? Probably. Is Basim gonna do anything about it? Definitely not. Ooh. We got a new Initiative Alamut outfit, though. I don't like that one as much. Like, of the 3, right? Green, blue, and turquoise. I definitely like the blue the most. A new costume? Oh. Hey yo. Or we can just have a Master Assassin costume and then we can wear whatever we want. And an extremely unsuspicious talisman. Like, I mean, that one's already bad, right? Ah yes, subtlety. Even less subtlety. Never heard of her. Please, come stab me. It looks real good, though. Looks very classic. Alright. And there's the red sash. Exactly. Also, we are... Tradition is Cthulhu. They'll never guess the assassin is wearing the assassin badge. Truly never. Eldritch Talisman. Wow! People have strong opinions, and the opinions are Cthulhu. Alright. Well... Gosh, actually, I want to see where we are in terms of world completion. We're missing 1 artifact. There's 2 of the gear chests, so we're actually missing only 2 gear chests. Neither of them are actually up here? Odd. Missing 1 Derwish artifact in this entire thing. No idea where it is, but we are missing 1. Maybe around the Tuesday market. We're done in Kark. We're functionally done in Abbasia. We're missing 1 in Harbia, and we're missing 1 around there. So we're missing 3 total of Derwish's artifacts. I wish there was a better way to, like, locate them, honestly. Like, I genuinely super duper wish that we had a better way of locating missing things. But so it goes. Because I don't know which town the one in the wilderness is.
Hold on. No raising of fees beyond the approved amount.
In the meantime, though, I would see if there are upgrades. Ah. Seems like there's broadly nothing of note around here at Anbar again.
Hey, what?
Which is fine. There does not need to be. A man would be nice.
Go somewhere else.
Would be real nice if the thing I was missing was just around here. Nope. Okay. Well, realistically, I don't think we're very likely to, I don't think we're particularly likely to get to another good stopping point within a reasonable amount of time. So instead, I think this may be where we call it for today's... Oh. Well, hello. Who are you? Is that actually a chest, or is that just like a thing? I feel like that's just a thing. Well, let me at least head over there. And then try and have an interesting concluding thought. I won't have an interesting concluding thought. I'm out, no brain. Brain has become potato. But yeah. I don't know, it is a little odd that they've made... Alright, we've got plenty of named people. I'm just thinking about the Order of the Ancients more now. And who, now that they've killed Wasif al-Turki, who could the last Order of the Ancients member be? Like, actual question. Oh. Huh. That is one of the missing gear chests. Fascinating. Well, alright. Uh-huh. Scaffolding can be made to collapse. Oh no. What if the scaffolding were to collapse? Exactly, it can't be the Khalif because, oh. I thought we were gonna make something collapse, not make something explode. You understand how those are 2 different sentences, game. Unfortunately, I can't stick something through there. So, harem conspiracy? If we had, like, functionally any acknowledgement of the harem, that would be what I'd go to. But, like, we've seen not even a hint of a mention of it. That's the trouble right now, right? The head of the snake is Al Bahamut, who is not a snake. That's Jormungandr. But, like, who could it be? Watch it actually just be Al-Mutaz anyway. That would be extremely funny. If they're just like, oh yes, you know. The hell it cannot possibly be. Oh. Huh. So there's one of our missing guys. Probably you're missing Enigma there. That's just literally inside the round citadel. That's not important. Huh, apparently when we're outside of town we can actually see things. Yeah. What? Right, like in terms of the characters who have been introduced at this point, the only one left is Al-Mutaz's son, who we know can't have been at that time. Oh, you can't kill animals in this game. Sorry, buddy. I thought you were immortal. Right, we know he can't have been at the start of the game. There's not much stopping him from being at this point. So... Alternatively, it's just someone we've never met before, and we just have, like, weird nonsense happening near the end of the game. I mean...
Let us get a wider view.
Right, it is, extremely known that, there are very many... Oh, well there it is. There's the missing thing over at the Tomb of Zebeda. Where am I going with it? It is extremely obvious at this point, that they have no problem with just introducing characters who we have never seen before. And being like, oh yes, time to stab them. So I really don't know where it's gonna go. It's also obvious, a whole lot of stuff has to happen in a very short amount of time in order to make everyone, in order to get Basim to where he needs to get to by the end of the game. Like, there is not much left. Ow. That's Derwish's artifact. Well, that's perfect. Yeah. Alright. Scandinavia, speaking of... So this is something I've been expecting. Circular brooch from Northern Europe made out of gilded alloy and displaying dolphin figures. So this is the type of thing. Honestly, this is more of a Bracteate than anything. Bracteates predate the Viking Age slightly, are often made out of gold, have the circular design with repetitive motives on it. But, you know, we saw a lot of Tang Dynasty stuff, so I was a little quietly surprised that we weren't seeing a lot of, a whole lot of, Scandinavian stuff. And there we got one. That being said, Scandinavian trade is mostly in furs, heading down the rivers. So, you know, it would be unusual to get a Bracteate traveling this far, but it being unusual should never stop us. Right, just like on principle, it being unusual, but theoretically possible, should be enough. And as to chat's theory of, oh no, what if my meme was correct and it actually is a Jormungandr Sage? I also hope not, just because this game has done a really good job on keeping itself largely free from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Well, I know it can't stay free from Assassin's Valhalla. The longer it stays away, the happier I'll be. Ah, dang it, there's the last enigma. Which is not what I had hoped for, but... it's fine. Yoink. And then this last one is also in the wilderness, and is truly in the middle of nowhere. So let's go pick up these things, then we'll call it a stream. I don't know, chat, what are your thoughts on using, Wasif al-Turki as a Order of the Ancients member? How are your vibes about it? Because I still can't decide whether I like it. I really can't decide if I like the whole conflict. I think the thing I like least about Wasif being in the game, or used in this way, is just that he had really nothing to do with the Zanj revolt. Oh. Well, well, well. You are truly out here in the middle of nowhere, and you still managed to get robbed. Frankly, tragic. I just wanted to pet the cat, don't worry about it.
Hey, where was mine?
I mean, it's not worse than Rodrigo Borja being a Templar Grandmaster. True. But he could have used more build-up. Exactly, right? I think, yeah, that's where I'm kind of at. It's just... he needed, like, a bit more...
Be my eyes, Enkidu.
Well, watch. My guy, you're trying to summon something that doesn't exist. Okay, there's only 4 gold dots left around in the world. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of those 4 is the last artifact we need. Tying him to the Zanj Rebellion in particular is also amidst that. Exactly. I don't mind them siloing the stories into the districts. I feel like they don't... They really, I think, had an idea of what they wanted to do with Karth. And they really knew what they wanted to do with Abbasiyah and with Harbia. I don't get the sense they really knew what they wanted to do for their 4th one, which is why they kind of split Karth into 2 things. Which admittedly, Karth was the biggest suburb, or separate city, depending on how you count it. So that's fine. Like, they also just couldn't quite decide what they were aiming for. But yeah, right, but like, for the, I don't know, who was it? The soap manufacturer? And the slave trader? Like, I don't care about him. He doesn't really need build-up. They did an okay enough job building up, the guy in the, right, the guy in the House of Wisdom. They did an okay building him up, even though he's ultimately unmemorable. But right, you meet him early on, you know he's the head of the library, it makes sense that he's in this position of power, and then you uncover things and you're like, ooh, ooh. Karth, in particular, I think is the weakest of the 3. I liked everything on Karth except for Ning herself. Like, Ning was ultimately underwhelming, but, you know, whatever. And I feel like they really didn't know what they wanted to do with the Zanj Rebellion and the necessary political history around it. And so they just kind of smushed stuff together. And that's the first place where I feel like they've not only, like, done the history, or done weird stuff in the history, but they've done the history actively strangely. I almost wish we had gone through the machine below the House of Wisdom. If you're going to do easy nonsense, at least make it strange, alien, and engaging. Yeah. A fair take. I'm broadly unconcerned. Like, I don't particularly feel like I need it, but I was okay with it as it was. But, you know, mileage may vary. Anyway, a kissy penny. Initially made in Western Africa, kissy pennies were small rods of iron used as currency. They were usually tied together in bunches as their individual value was fairly low. Another good historical trivia to wrap up our stream. So let's go, you know, lead ourselves over to the quest we're tracking. Ta-da. I liked her in theory. I liked everything up to the moment we actually walked up and stabbed her. Once we did that, I was like, I don't think I understand why she was the choice there, and why she was the Caliph's treasurer instead of the market inspector. But anyway, I do not think it is time for us to pick up with the next arc yet. I think that'll have to be a thing for tomorrow. Right? That'll have to be just a thing for tomorrow, when we will be back. Same time, same place. More of the same. Instead, I think it's just time for us to call it a night. Ooh. With another thing for us to steal. Where is it? Come on. 100 meters away. There it is. Something for us for the future. Because we need 2 more of those? Yeah. There's 2 in the round city, and those are the last 2. Which will be good. Cool. So, the plan is just we're going to finish AC Mirage tomorrow. I don't really care how long it takes. We're just going to try and finish it. So we'll be prepared for a longer stream. Because, you know, we can't have that much left. Right? I'm literally running out of side stories to do. So, we've got a book. We've got 2 gear chests. We've got 1 artifact. There's literally not that much game left. And yes, it'll take us like 5 hours. But I'm prepared for that. So I hope you are all prepared for that too. Because we might be here for a while. But, you know, if you enjoyed this, thank you, Alex, for... The main plot ends like an hour after you expect it to. Well, that's okay. Because I assume there's 1 more assassination and then a bit of extra stuff. But yeah. If you enjoyed this, of course, make sure you... We're running out of side stuff, we have to do the story. We've got historical sites. We've got codex entries left. We've got like 4 codex entries, or actually I think we got 9 codex entries left. There's plenty of time for us to get distracted. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, of course, make sure you hit the follow button to be notified for that stream tomorrow. And consider supporting the channel by subscribing. It is super appreciated, and there are, No, I'm committed. Chat has no faith in me. VOD watchers, if you have faith in me, come join us live tomorrow. Because apparently I'll probably be going all night long from the way they're talking. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, either subscribe or head over to Patreon. Any support is, of course, super appreciated, and people hanging out, talking, being part of the conversation, doing some history together was super fun, super appreciated. So, I think that does it for us for tonight. So, until next time I see you, whether that's tomorrow or some future thing, or some future stream, Dracasta, don't remind me, okay? Regardless, I hope everyone has a good rest of their evenings, and I will see you all next time, okay? Bye for now. And of course, extra thank you to our Patreon supporters, who are all listed over on the side of the screen. Additionally, thank you, well, the credits don't reflect it, but to everyone who gifted subs, who received gifted subs, and the Kivet for the follow before stream went weird. I appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a very good night.